and half price on seedless red grapes, only $2.99 per pound. Certified Angus beef, top sirloin steak, just $8.99 per pound. Select varieties of Purex 2X laundry detergent, only $4.99 for a 50-ounce bottle. Select varieties of Arizona drinks, just $7.99 for a 12-pack. Nestle's Cheerio cereal, only $4.99 for a 397-gram box. All stores are open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Friday, the 13th of July. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. News that the OBA paid between $20,000 and $50,000 to a New York State assemblyman for public relations help has sparked questions in the House. Michael Blake, a former aide in the Barack Obama White House, revealed the 2017 payment in his financial disclosure to New York State. PLP backbencher Neville Tyrrell raised the matter in Parliament today, saying that the OBA had spent millions attempting to connect with the people of Bermuda. Afterwards, he spoke to Bermuda Broadcasting's Mike Sharp.
In fact, I found it very surprising to hear that the OBA had this consultant here at this price. But then again, as I said, we're not surprised because we found that they believe throwing money at things is the way of connecting with the people. And we've seen some of their policies that are so anti-Bermudian that, I felt I had to make, that brief comment because, the pepper spraying one really hit home at me where that really shouldn't have happened. So, as I said, I just felt that I needed to make that comment, that's all.
Yeah. And you feel there's been anti-Bermudian policies when the OBA was empowered, the money that was spent that wasn't really connecting them with the people?
Of course. I mean, America's Cup in the first instance, we knew that where the money was going to go in terms of, it wasn't for Mr. and Mrs. Bermuda, not in my constituency. My people didn't get any benefit out of it at all. So we understand that things like that is how they feel that they connect, but that's not how you connect with the people of Bermuda.
Meantime, opposition leader Gene Atherton declined to comment about the consultancy fees earlier this week, but had this reaction at the House of Assembly today.
I was hoping that one of my colleagues would get back to you because, of course, we don't get into discussions about consultants, etc., because that's an internal private matter, and anything in terms of anybody else that might have done something, we also believe that gentleman he's the person that can answer any questions about his business affairs.
In other news, local immigration authorities have some questions to answer after a Cuban national was refused entry by Canadian officials. He traveled to North America on board a flight from El Afuete International Airport, apparently on a passport not his own. Gary Moreno explains.
Just how did a male Cuban national who allegedly has a criminal record enter this country reportedly using a Venezuelan passport? Officials at the Department of Immigration have begun an investigation into the situation. The individual was stopped by Canada immigration officials at Toronto Pearson and ordered that he return to Bermuda. This, we're told, could mean local immigration officials will have serious questions to answer from their Canadian counterparts. The nature of this purported criminal offences remain unknown at this time, and attempts to get information from the Canadian authorities have so far proven futile. Local immigration officials have also not responded to our queries about this development. Of concern, we're told, is what will happen once the individual has been returned to these shores. He was expected to arrive earlier today. It is believed, though, that if he did enter Bermuda illegally, he could be taken into custody upon his return. Meantime, according to information contained on the Canadian immigration website, persons trying to enter Canada with forged documents are committing an offence under that country's Immigration and Refugee Protection Act as well as its criminal code. Anyone caught doing so are fingerprinted and their image ran through every database possible, including the US and Interpol, until the person's identity is determined. Only if their identity cannot be verified are they incarcerated in that country. The individual being returned to Bermuda would then suggest his identity has been found out, as well as the nature of his alleged criminal activity. While we were unable to get anything from Bermuda Customs and Immigration, National Security Minister Wayne Keynes, who would have to be informed given that the individual could be arrested and held at one of the island's prison facilities, told us he was still somewhat in the dark about what was going on.
This incident is actually live and in train right now. I'll be in a better position to let you know what happened after the incident is resolved. It is a Cuban national that has had immigration irregularity, and that matter is being dealt with as we speak. I am aware that he had some immigration irregularities and that matter is in train. And as soon as the matter is resolved, or we come to an area where I can be briefed, I'll accept the briefing from the Collector of Customs. It's almost impossible to speculate. What I think will be the best course of action for me at this juncture is to receive a full briefing from the Collector of Customs. Once I'm able to apprise myself of the situation and speak with my brother minister, the minister responsible for immigration, I'll be able to properly brief the people of Bermuda with reference to this matter.
Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And still to come, an affirmative response to affirmative action, plus all the latest weather news ahead of the weekend. Stay with us.
You can count on us.
Save $1.10 on Purdue fresh chicken leg quarters, only $1.79 per pound. For a great snack, red and black plums, just $2.99 a pound, saving $2. 4 rolls Charmin Ultra Soft or Strong Toilet Tissue, just $5.25. Hot price on select varieties of Kraft shredded cheese, only $3.59 for an 8-ounce bag. Save $2.56 on Halo Top ice cream, only $6.49 for a 1-pint tub. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
I didn't order this one. This is the wrong item.
What? These are the wrong size.
I wanted white pants for the white party.
These are way too big.
Oh my gosh, this is not what I ordered.
Finally in Bermuda, announcing Mailboxes Unlimited's Internet Return Hub. Now for an 85% savings. No matter how you brought your items into Bermuda, you can return your items back to the U.S. easily. Mailboxes Unlimited's Internet Return Hub. Stop by today.
From happy beginnings and life choices that we make along the way,
Colonial protects your lifestyle with the best insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
Family protection and long-term financial plans.
Business insurance and generous employee benefits.
For happy beginnings to happy ever after, visit CGIGroup.com.
Colonial, where people come first.
Bermuda Broadcasting Company is pleased to present the first round of the 115th Annual Eastern Counties Cup Competition, featuring defending champions, Bailey's Bay, and challengers, Cleveland County at Seabreeze Oval, Bailey's Bay. Join the island's leading cricket commentary team of Alan Richardson, Wendell Smith, and Dwayne Sluggo Levrock, with live ball-by-ball coverage. Saturday, July 21st, starting at 10 a.m. on Power 95 FM, the island's #1 station for your Eastern County Cup competition. Brought to you by Lindo's Group of Companies, John Barrett & Son Limited, Polaris Holdings, and Money Shop.
Welcome back. The president of the anti-racism group CURB has thrown her support behind a new government policy aimed at considering race and gender when awarding government contracts. The proposed affirmative action policy aims to level the playing field for blacks and women who have historically been neglected when contracts were handed out. CURB President Lynn Winfield told us her group has been calling for such action for some time.
CURB has for a long time stated that we need some form of affirmative action policies in the island, and were disappointed when the 2007 Workforce Equity Bill didn't make it to legislation. I think in particular we need to consider that after the many, many years of oppression occurred on this island, the access to opportunities is clearly shown in current statistics, is clearly still slow and delayed, and the only way to create an equal playing field is to put in place some legislation that deals with affirmative action. And in particular, what is actually being promoted by the government at this stage is across procurement acts. Many countries, including the US, UK, and Canada, have similar legislation.
Do you foresee a counter case being made that it would be discriminatory or unfair to consider race where it concerns procurement?
No. I do not think in today's world you cannot make that argument. Of course, there will be people who will make that argument. It's like when they had affirmative action in university schools overseas, and then there's been a few cases of white people saying, but that's not fair to me. But the fact that for 400 years it seemed to be fair for one group over another group clearly states that we have to rebalance the situations.
Diversity has been the buzzword in business circles for years, and for good reason. There's clear evidence that having a diverse workforce, including in the upper echelons, leads to better business outcomes. Yet, even with conclusive evidence, diversity is easier said than done. Tony Waterman caught up with Fiona Luck, the former managing director of Marsh & McLennan, on the sidelines of the ABIR 25th anniversary conference earlier this week, and they talked about diversity in the insurance industry.
I think obviously there were far fewer women in the business. I was brought up in a setting where I had a very strong mother, so I never thought of the differences between men and women. So I was lucky enough to have sponsors like Bob Clements, Brian O'Hara, Michael Budd, people who've really supported me in my career. So I never really felt it. But of course, if I looked at the landscape, there weren't that many of us. That's very different from now. We've seen fabulous young women come through into the industry. What I'd like to see is them progress right to the very top, and we're not there as much as we need to be. Certainly when you look across the landscape of many of the ABIR companies, we've still got a way to go to make sure that there's the right representation of women at the most senior levels in these companies, and that's what I challenge them today.
How do you change that? What do you think is needed to make that change?
When men have daughters, it often changes things. They become much more focused on what it's like to work in an environment. They don't like to see their daughters be discriminated against. It makes them feel, I think, really understand what that means in a business setting. But in addition, it's not just about women. You know, I'm just such a big proponent of diversity. All the research shows you the more diverse the leadership, the better your company performs. End of story. I mean, there's no questioning the research. So we've got to make sure that the diversity is across gender, it's across ethnicity, and it's across sexual persuasion. And that's what we've got to do. And if we want to be the leader, that's what we have to do in our insurance and reinsurance industry.
Yeah, because, I mean, you think about the competition that you have with other countries and companies globally. It's not just about the business, it's about the culture as well.
Absolutely. And interestingly enough, I mean, I've just gone on the franchise board at Lloyd's, and I know that they're very involved with diversity and inclusion. Damien Gabriel, who's the current CEO, has made a very sort of focused approach on that. But the fact of the matter is, Bermuda's got a great opportunity. We've got a very diverse workforce already here. We've got to show, and you know, we can lead the world showing that what diversity really looks like at the most senior ranks.
Weather now, we had a beautiful sunshiny and some showers this afternoon. So what's the picture like for the weekend? Here's our AccuWeather forecast.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and we've made it to the weekend, but we do have some unsettled times to get through before we can see some completely dry times. As we take a look at the radar here, you can see that we do have quite a bit of moisture nearby, and this is pretty much the leftovers of Beryl. We're not expecting any additional development, or redevelopment, I should say, since this was once a hurricane. But this is going to cause some issues for us as we head into the overnight hours and also as we head into our weekend. The National Hurricane Center is giving this just a 30% chance of redeveloping. It will allow for the showers and thunderstorms to be nearby, and it's also going to allow for some choppy conditions here and also out toward the East Coast as well. Temperatures are sitting in the low 80s right now. We're looking at winds out of the south, 15 to 20 knots. So with this disturbance nearby, this disorganized area, we are going to have some breezy times for sure tonight. The water temperature sitting at 82 degrees. Waves inside the reef are between 2 and 3 feet, and then outside of the reef, that's where things start to get a bit more choppy, again, as those remnants of barrels sit out there. So waves outside of the reef between 5 and 7 feet. And because we are dealing with the choppy times, it's really not the best of weather to be out beaching or boating, I guess, if you will. well. We do have a small craft warning in place at least through Saturday night here, so we'll keep you updated with that. High tide tonight coming in at 9:47, and we have our low tide coming in at 4:22 on Saturday. So I hope you can enjoy this Friday night. At least we're to the weekend. 75 is our low temperature tonight. We're going to keep it cloudy as it has been this afternoon, and we'll allow for those showers and also those thunderstorms as well. Pretty much the same as we get into tomorrow. I do think we get some breaks of sunshine throughout your Saturday, but there could be some showers and some storms. So keep that in mind if you're doing anything outside. If you're taking a run tomorrow, you might be dodging some showers out there. So here we go with our futurecast as we put this into motion going throughout the day on Saturday. This area of low pressure starts to move away, but you can see that we still have some green near us, and that means that we still have the threat of those showers and also those thunderstorms as well. Things will start to improve as we get into the second half of the weekend as high pressure starts to try and nudge its way in. The gateway forecast here, you can see that we are dry in New York City and Boston, Atlanta, keeping the storms in the forecast for them. And here in Jamaica, it's beautiful outside, 91 degrees. We have no tropical development, just the remnants of Beryl sitting out there in the Atlantic. So stormy at times on Saturday, Sunday. We start to see some improvements. We'll allow for a couple of spotty showers. Monday's a good day. Too bad we can't get the completely dry day this weekend. And then we have more showers in the forecast as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm a taxi driver / ambassador. My father's with BF&M, so am I. Half of my family always been seen to be with Bermuda Fire Marine. I tried a different provider at one time, but I wasn't too happy with the competition because back then it took too long to settle claims. They questioned every claim, and I never really had that problem with BF&M. I'm quite happy with it.
Okay, well, no. Get a card, man. Come on, man. Grab the card, man. The card is hurt, man. What?
There's a myriad of snacks out there, something special for everyone on match day, and you're likely to find them at Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
I attended the Mirror Super Camp. It was an awesome experience. I got to meet a lot of new people.
And then we also learned about the 8 keys of excellence. Keys open doors, keys open doors.
Super Camp is not like other camps. There's a strong focus here about looking at the options and the choices you have available to you and choosing the one that best reflects who you are.
I learned a lot about the way that I have to keep pushing and persevere no matter what's going on.
The best thing about Super Camp? It allows you the space to truly be yourself.
Anytime somebody finally came into their own presence and felt comfortable being who they were, that was a special moment for me at Super Camp.
Super Camp is about exploring who you are and transforming yourself.
It only gets better!
We invite you to join the transformation of a generation.
How many lawyers does it take to fill a courtroom? The Bermuda judiciary did their best to determine the answer this morning as they packed into a special sitting of the Supreme Court. No case was being heard. The occasion was a fond farewell to outgoing Chief Justice Ian K. Woolley, who was slightly bashful being the focus of such attention.
Sounds coming from upstairs that the parliamentarians are quite happy. not me interfering with their work any further.
Members of the legal profession lined up to make their farewells and express their gratitude to the outgoing Chief Justice. Notable comments came from the Director of Public Prosecutions, Larry Mussadin, who thanked Judge Kawali for his efforts to secure resources for the justice system, while the President of the Bermuda Bar Association, Karen Williams-Smith, shared tributes from the wider legal community who had called the Chief Justice, quote, forward-thinking, a great mentor, and a bundle of intense intellect. Annie and Kawali's successor, Narinda Hargun, will take up the mantle of Chief Justice from tomorrow. Bermuda has one of the highest rates of diabetes anywhere in the developed world. Part of the problem is that many people aren't sure what foods are healthy, meaning they buy items that are actually harming them. But in the United States, some supermarkets are preventing this by literally walking their customers through the aisles. Kenneth Craig from CBS has that story.
Back last 2 weeks.
James Aguilera is going over numbers from his lab work with a dietitian.
I'm diabetic type 1, so my A1C was totally out of control.
But they're not in a doctor's office, they're at his local grocery store.
It did pretty good.
Registered dietitian Kelsey Lubeck meets with customers every week at this ShopRite in Ramsey, New Jersey, a service the store offers free of charge.
We'll do a one-on-one consultation. We can sit down for a little bit, and then we walk the store and we show them products. And it's high protein.
The program gives tips for reading nutrition labels to help customers make healthy choices.
Maybe looking at a claim that's on a product and explaining what it means.
For customers like James, who has diabetes, Kelsey shows how to count carbs in products.
And she explained, that's not really 15 grams of carbs anymore. You subtract the 7 grams of fiber, now it's 8 grams of carbs.
Insera Supermarkets launched the program in 2012 and says thousands of customers have taken part.
A lot of shoppers are also, dealing with chronic medical conditions that diet and nutrition can really play an important role in helping resolve or prevent.
Everything is included.
Since shopping with Kelsey, James has his diabetes in check and he's lost weight.
I've lost 20 pounds since I started this about a year ago.
One thing he's gained is a healthier way to shop. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Ramsey, New Jersey.
And still to come, Roll Based, we'll have all the latest sports news, including details of our World Cup coverage this weekend. That's in just a few minutes. Don't change that channel.
Price Rate is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce. And an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Rite at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warren. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
Alex.
Hi, Deshay.
Thank you for taking the time to show me your car today.
No problem.
What is it like to drive? Does it feel any different? Are the noises the same?
This car is very smooth. It's got a very quick acceleration, but she's very smooth, very quiet. Deshay, I'm going to park this car.
All right. Using the self-park feature.
Using the self-park feature.
Okay. I wouldn't be able to get in there by myself.
No. There we go. No hands.
No hands. Oh my gosh.
Every home tells a story, and your story is all yours. Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself with Beek Savings Zone. So many unique styles to help tell your story and create your dream home. From contemporary to classic, and from modern to mind-blowing, we've always got your style in mind. No matter the project, no matter the size, from restoration to renovation, Beek Savings Zone has your style with a huge selection and incredible savings. Visit our showrooms at Wallers Point Road and Davids or online at BeekSavingsZone.com.
Turning to sports now, and Earl Basden is here with tonight's sports report.
Sakai Famous has finished 11th competing in the IAAF World Under-20 Championships in Finland earlier today. Competing in the women's high jump, she failed to clear the bar at the 1.70 meter mark, failing to advance to the final. Bermuda's junior national cycling champion Matthew Oliveira continued competing in the Junior Tour of Ireland as the event moved into Stage 3. This stage saw Oliveira and other competitors cover a distance of 101.7 kilometers or 63.24 miles. Oliveira crossed the line in a time of 2 hours, 31 minutes and 50 seconds. He was in a pack of 71 riders who crossed the line at the same time as the stage winner Ian Spankenlink. The result sees Oliveira move up yet another spot. He started the day in 5th and came off the road in 4th with an overall time of 4 hours, 55 minutes and 46 seconds. With the CAC Games only a week away, the Minister of Sport, Michael Weeks, and the Shadow Minister of Sport, Ben Smith, had this message to our athletes.
I just give my hearty support and congratulations to them. It's over 20 of them going, young Bermudians, that's going to represent our island, and I know they're going to do well and make us proud.
Well, obviously, the fact that I'm going to be there with some of the athletes, I'm looking forward to seeing all of Bermuda do well when we're there. We have a lot of young athletes that have been doing well locally and overseas, and we're expecting good results from all of them, and I'm pretty excited about the experience that we're going to have in Barranquilla.
Jair Prophet Williams scored in Ruta Valencia's first round Europa first leg 7-0 win over Trey Fiori. Dante Levrock and his JK Never Trends teammates went down 2-0 at home to FK Zula Zarvenjo from Bosnia in their first round Europa first leg match. Bermuda Golf Association has selected Jared Dillis, Walker Campbell, and Micah Ming to represent Bermuda at the 31st Men's World Amateur Team Championships Eisenhower Trophy that will be played September 5th through the 8th in Ireland. Robert Vallis will travel as the team's non-playing captain. This weekend sees one of the most eagerly awaited sports events of all, the World Cup Final. France will, of course, play Croatia on Sunday, but it's not the only game. England will play Belgium in the match for third place on Saturday. The two teams have already met in a group match, with the Belgians winning 1-0. But while the third place playoff doesn't set many hearts fluttering, Sunday's final will draw a global audience of billions. The French are favorites, with Croatia hoping to overturn predictions and win their first ever title. And of course, both games will be shown on ZFB 7. Our program begins at 10:45 a.m. on Saturday, while the final can be seen 11:45 a.m. onwards on Sunday. Or you can stream the games on our website, ForeverBermuda.com. Or you can listen to both matches on Ocean 89. One Communications and the Bermuda Cricket Board announced that the One Communications Premier Division Player of the Week for Week 6 was Tamiko Wilson of St. George's Cricket Club. In the match against Western Stars, Wilson scored a steady 27 not out off of 44 balls to guide his team to a 6-wicket victory in a low-scoring match. As a wicketkeeper for St. George's Cricket Club, Wilson also stumped Dante Wellman to help reduce the opposition to 111 all out. The One Communications First Division Player of the Week, Shamara Gomes of Willicotts. In the match against PHC at the Summers Cricket Club, Gomes destroyed the top order of PHC by taking 5 wickets for 28 runs in his 10 overs, including removing 4 of the 5 top batsmen. His bowling spell was instrumental in ensuring Willicotts had a comfortable 5-wicket victory as they continued their quest for promotion. The Bermuda Triathlon Association announced a preliminary team of young athletes to compete in the Carifta Triathlon and Aquathon event to be held in Trinidad and Tobago September 29th and 30th. The provisional team include in the 11 to 12 age group females, Daria Desmond, Jasmine Hasselkoss, Ava Gabby Maeto, Fenala Whiteman, and Bella Howells. In the male age group between 11 and 12, it's Callum McFarlane and Roy Fleming. The females in the 13 to 15 age group include Taylor White, Maisha Sharif, Zoe Hasselkoss, Amber Simons, Megan Hands, and Liana Maderas. The males include Nicholas Pilgrim, Caleb Ingham, Brian Desmond, Tommy Marshall, and Nico Davis. In the 16 to 19-year-old age group, females include Ashley Irby and Jessie Marshall. The Southampton Sailors scored 11 times and restricted the Tuckerstown Tropics to 4 goals in their Bermuda inline ball hockey match at the PCC hockey rink. At the end of the first period, the Southampton Sailors held a 3-1 lead, with the Sailors getting goals from Adam Matatall, Chris Grantier, and David Provas, while the lone goal for the Tuckerstown Tropics came off the stick of James Amaral. The Tuckerstown Tropics scored first in the second period through Christopher Merritt, but the Southampton Sailors will get goals from Townie Jackson, Matatall, Grantier, and Andrew Kernall to lead 7-2 after 2 periods. The final period, Jackson would complete his hat-trick with 2 goals. Matatall scored his third, and Provas would add his second. James and Merritt would strike for the Tuckerstown Tropics. I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. Exciting weekend ahead with the World Cup finals. Well, that's it from the team for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Good night.